Welcome to our community. Continuing our Christian School Week, we welcome Central Christian, located in Kidron, Ohio, and we've got Jean Miller, who is the superintendent, and seniors Sarah Ressler and Kevin Pasho. Short-term memory. Welcome to all of you for being here this morning. Let's start with you, Jean. What brought you, how long have you been affiliated with Central Christian?
This is my 8th year. I was previously down in Sarasota, Florida for 26 years. And my wife is a graduate of Central. And so when it came time to move, it seemed natural for us to move back to where she come from, to be with her parents as they got older. And so
that is not unusual. There's something about this school that brings people back.
Yeah, it does. This is a place where alumni are constantly bringing their children back. They work hard, move back into the area just to have their children at Central. It's really a unique and neat environment.
In those 8 years, has anything surprised you?
I was surprised by probably the community, and I was surprised by the students, the character of the students. I really don't have discipline problems. They're just quality kids. And I've always said, if you let me pick the parents, I'll take the kids. And we have wonderful parents. And it's a rich tradition here. And so it's just really neat to be able to walk through the halls and know each student and interact with the students and know that they're going to accept you for who you are as an administrator or a teacher. The teacher-student relationship is almost magical.
So worth giving up the weather in Florida?
Yeah, I'm a northern boy, and so the snow doesn't bother me. But we sure did enjoy our years in Florida.
Well, yeah, I have not ever heard anyone say, "Oh, yeah, no, darn that Florida weather." But
well, you miss the bugs and the alligators and the snakes.
There you go.
You know, that's something
There's always a little give and take. Sarah and Kevin, I'd like to hear your perspective of that magical teacher-student relationship. Would you agree, being on the receiving end of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes?
Would. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the coolest things is we're actually on a first-name basis with our teachers. And I think that really helps to build that community sense because it makes them feel more like a friend and more on your level and not as much of someone towering over you.
More of a mentor?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, what would you say?
I would agree with her on that one. And they're, very welcoming and want to help you if you need help. They give you your email addresses if you want to talk to them or need help. They're also, a lot of open door. You can go in anytime if they don't have a class, and they'll, be really wanting to help you learn.
So tell me a little bit about how long you've gone there. Kevin, have you been there the whole time?
I went in 6th grade. That's when I started.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Sarah?
I also started in 6th grade.
So what was the difference? Did you go to another Christian school first, or did you transfer out of the public schools and start 6th grade in a Christian environment?
I came out of a Catholic school and went there.
I actually transferred from Dalton Local School, so I was at a public school. And for me, I think it was drastically different in some ways, but also sort of the same. Dalton Local is still in the same area, and I would say, probably the majority of people there are Christians, and so I think there was a really good community there, but it just felt a lot different and closer at Central.
Whose idea was it to transfer? Your own or parents who played a part in this?
Mine was kind of both. My parents gave me and my 2 older sisters, we all had the choice at 6th grade that we could either stay going to Dalton or we could go to Central at that point.
And how about you?
I would say it'd be both, too. I kind of wanted to leave the school and do something new, and my mom was, perfectly fine with us doing that.
Mm-hmm. Do you have siblings that also go to Central?
Yes. My brother and my sister both graduated from Central, and I have a little younger sister who's also attending.
Yeah. Wow. How about you?
I have 2 older sisters who graduated from Central.
So, really, alumni that they're running in the family now.
Yeah.
And did the older siblings have a part to play in your making this decision as well?
I'd say for me it did. Since both of my sisters chose to go to Central before me, then that just felt like the logical thing to do in my mind.
All right, well, I'll ask you the same things. Did you find, what surprised you about the change? Anything? Did it live up to your expectations, or was there something that was even better than you realized it was going to be?
I'd say it definitely at least lived up to my expectations, because for me, one of the biggest parts was when I went to Central, I found a really good group of close-knit friends. And at Dalton, like, I had friends, but I was part of a much bigger group, and it didn't feel as close to me and as special. Like, I'm someone who needs a few really close friends and not the bigger group with everybody in it. So that was probably the biggest difference that I noticed, was just being able to find those close friends. But, I mean, the teachers just really invest in the students. It's obvious that they want you to succeed, and they do everything that they can to help that.
Yeah. How about you, Kevin?
When I went to Central, I felt very welcomed, and like people wanted me there. At my old school, a lot of people were like really noisy and rowdy, so it was like kind of hard to learn at points and like just talk with people. But at Central, everyone's like really kind and like welcoming, and they like paid attention in class. I really enjoyed that.
Gene, I'm going to head back to you. You've got to be so proud of these young people. I mean, you're so articulate and well-spoken, and great PR for Central Christian, by the way.
This is a great senior class. It was hard to choose which two.
Yeah.
Because I could have could have thrown a dart at a number of these students, and they would have done well.
Wow.
But these are two excellent students, and I'm just really proud of them. You're right.
Tell me about the academics at Central Christian. I know you've got a great reputation.
Well, it's amazing how many of our students go on to the medical world. We have a strong math science department, some teachers that have been there for years. And when we did our symposium a few years ago, medical symposium, we brought a lot of our doctors back and nurses and presented what was going on. So that's a strong field. My son graduated and said, going to college was pretty much review for the first while.
That's amazing.
So it's a very, very strong science world. But I would say our other programs, they have the AP courses and the dual enrollment classes that you can pick up. So we have a strong academic world. Probably our strength, though, I was asking them what area they thought was the strength when we come in here. And I think we've agreed that Central's music program is clearly a standout. There we have roughly 130 kids in the high school, and we have a full orchestra. We have a jazz band, and they were helping me decide all the Heartland strings, and then we have five choirs? Did you say?
Yeah.
5 different choirs that perform, and it's just amazing what's happening musically here. We start our violins in first grade, and I think we're up to 130 violins that are at the school, for young children, because you have to have the different sizes as they grow out of their violin.
Yes.
And so all those are coming up through, and then they start keyboarding. And we were trying to debate what age they start the winds, but we think it's 5th grade.
Yeah.
Sarah, you're in the music program, very involved. Tell me about it.
I am. I do most everything that I can. I'm in the full orchestra and the winds, the jazz band. I also do, with the choirs, there's a freshman and sophomore choir called chorale, and then the junior and senior concert choir. And in addition, you can try out to be in the more elite group, Varsity Singers, that I'm also a part of. So, I don't know. What do you want to know about?
Well, it sounds like you've got it all covered as far as instrumental and vocal.
I'm pretty much as involved as I can be when it comes to music.
So I'm going to guess, is that what you're going to major in college? Is that what you're looking at?
It's actually not. I think I'm going to go into teaching, and not even teaching music, but music is just something that I love. I've always been passionate about. I grew up in a really musical family, so it's always been important to me.
Talk about the MSEC choir, what we do each year, and the mass choir we join.
Yeah, all the Mennonite schools in U.S. and Canada, and is there one in
North America.
Puerto
Rico.
Yeah,
there's
Puerto
2
Rico,
schools
there's
in
one.
Puerto
And
Rico.
beyond.
Mm-hmm. But all the Mennonite schools get together each year, and it moves around which school we go to, and we all go together and we do a mass choir. We call it MSEC. It's the Mennonite Choir Festival. Wait, what does
Mennonite
MSEC stand
Secondary
for?
School Choir.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what the SEC is. All right.
Yeah. And so we all get together, and they bring in a guest conductor, and we all learn the same songs beforehand, and then we get to practice together and perform, and it's like a huge mass choir, and that's a really neat experience. To be
Where
able
do
to-
you perform?
Well, it changes every year because each year we go to a different one of the Mennonite schools. So, like, a few years ago, it was at Central, and we performed in our gymnasium.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of my sisters was in that. And then, like, last year, we went out to Iowa, and we did it at one of the public schools out there that had a bigger area that we could do it in. We did it, I think, in their gymnasium there.
What is that experience like? First of all, you're practicing on your own, and then to come together and get the full effect once everybody's all together. Describe that for us, please.
It's really neat. I think just being a part of a choir that big is incredible because to be in the middle of all that music, like you can hear everything, you can hear all the different parts. And I also think it's really neat to be able to work with a different director because, like, I love our director, Tim Shu. He's fantastic, but it's really neat to also be able to work under someone else. And they always get really accomplished directors. They're oftentimes a choral leader at a college, or they've done other things with their life. They're very accomplished people who know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really neat to get a different perspective on, like, how to sing the songs with, like, the right inflection and all that.
Let's take a short break. We're going to be back. We are speaking with Jean Miller, Sarah Ressler, and Kevin Pacho from Central Christian, and you're listening to Our Community.